YouTube, what's good? We are back. NFL Week 11 coming off a very strong 2-1 outing last week. We had the Chargers come through for us. We had the Patriots come through for us. Unfortunately, the only team that didn't come through for us was the Packers in an unlucky game where, you know, a few less drops on key third downs and we have a clean sweep. But nonetheless, 2-1 is very solid. One of those winners we had was, I believe, plus 283 odds, something crazy like that. So very profitable weekend for us. For the year, that puts us at plus 2.08 units. All time since starting this channel last year, we're now up 7.88 units. So guys, I put these picks out for free. If this is your first time seeing me, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel before I disappear in your algorithm forever and you're stuck tailing these losers, because I quite frankly don't know if anybody does it better. We put it out for free and we're making money. You know what percentage of people lose money sports betting? It's insane. The fact that we've done very well on this channel just proves that it's, look, whether we're the best or not, you can debate it, but regardless, we're definitely very well above average. So let's get into the Week 11 picks. We got a few for you. All right, guys, so kind of doubling down on last week here. The main team we're riding with this week, again, is going to be the Chargers. So we're going to go Chargers money line minus 161 unit. And we're going to use them in another play as well. But let me first just talk about the Chargers. So Chargers on the road against the Jags. So Chargers coming off a very impressive win that we had them on last week against the Steelers. Absolutely dominated that game. Aaron Rodgers, was that maybe his worst performance of his career? And look, I get it. The narrative around the Chargers is all the old line injuries. Herbert doesn't have a prayer back there. And I got to be honest, guys, is that starting to get old at some point? You know, these PFF rankings, do we really care? We just look at how efficient they've been and how Herbert's done regardless. He's still putting up numbers. So I don't think it's affecting him as much as everyone's making it out to be. Yes, when it first happened a few weeks ago, we actually went against the Chargers, and we were successful in doing that. But now we're seeing the tides turn, and we're starting to, you know, invest in some Chargers stock here. I think Justin Herbert is playing very well. I think that defense is playing very well. Jim Harbaugh, one of my favorite coaches in the league, very high football IQ. I love the Chargers' weapons. They have a ton of weapons. Ladd McConkey is nasty, man. Did you see that route that he ran on a little inside post against the Pittsburgh? Totally broke the guy's ankles. They have weapons. Keenan Allen, they don't use him as much anymore. But if they need a key first down, third and Keenan, put him out there. Quentin Johnson has been really good this year. And Gadskin, the tight end, has really had some nice games as well. I just think they're loaded weapon-wise, even though their O-line is depleted. Justin Herbert, like Jim Harbaugh said, is just a beast. He probably has the best stiff arm in the game for a quarterback. He's able to just buy time and just make the right play, even though his O-line is depleted. So I have a lot of stock in the Chargers, and defensively, they are just so well coached. We saw what they did at Pittsburgh last week. On the other side of the ball, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Look, this is a team we bet against a few weeks ago and were successful. They're just a phony team. You know, they are. I just don't get it. I think there's a little more hype on them because they have Trevor Lawrence, who's still considered like he might be a decent quarterback, but they really have. If you look at their data this year, it's not that impressive. They're one of the worst teams in the league. You know, they're not the bottom tier, but they're around that bottom quarter of the league. Not that impressive. And really, I'm kind of looking at this game situationally. You look at this last week, you know, they're up, I forget the exact number of points, but they were up, I believe, 29-10 in that fourth quarter, and they lost the game 36-29. I personally believe this is going to be a similar moment to last year for the Bears. If you guys remember, last year the Bears were okay. They were kind of in the hunt, and then they lost that one game on a Hail Mary to Washington. I kind of think this is going to be, I kind of think that last game was that spot for Jacksonville where you blow a 29-10 lead in the fourth quarter. I think that kind of is going to deflate their season and just take all the win out of this team. I'm not going to be surprised if they go on a little bit of a losing streak here and it just becomes a bad year for them, even though they currently have a winning record. I think that loss last week is going to really mess with them mentally. And I'm not sure they're going to be locked in for this game. Just not sure they're going to be confident. You know, probably going to be overthinking a lot of things. And who knows how their week of preparation was after a loss like that. Was it an emotional week of preparation? You know, That's a tough loss to overcome. It's kind of like the Giants when they lost to the Broncos this year in that brutal lead. I think they got blown out the next game. You know, it's really hard to come off a loss like that and still play your best and keep that same mental energy. So we're going to be riding with the Chargers money line -160 for 1 unit. Okay, so our second play is going to be Chargers money line with Lions money line. You combine them both together. The parlay money line for this is +273. So very nice number we're getting here. I already explained to you why I like the Chargers. The Lions, here's the thing. The Lions, I was ready to hammer this as a 2-unit play as well. But I only want 1 unit of risk on the Lions this week because their injury report is not pretty. They're not going to be with Sam Laporta. There's a few other key guys that are going to be questionable, so we'll see who plays and who doesn't. But with all the injury risk, I'm only going to do a unit on the Lions as opposed to the 2 units we're gonna have exposed on the Chargers. So look, guys, the Lions I think are a really good team. Jared Goff has been great the past 2-3 years. And this Philly team, I am so fed up with them. They're the phoniest team in the league this year. They remind me of last year's Chiefs that had this great record, but really weren't that good. They're winning every game in a Weasley fashion by 1 or 2 or 3 points, one possession games that they shouldn't win, blocked field goals, penalties, whatever it is. That's Philly this year. I don't even know if they should have a winning record, honestly. Like, they win the weaseliest. They win these games in the most Weasley way possible. Like last week, they had no business winning. Green Bay drops like 3 or 4 key balls that hit these guys right in the chest on key third downs, changes the whole game. I just think they're a very lucky team, and there's one thing you can't sustain this league, and that's luck. And if you're not winning just based on skill, eventually that luck's going to run out. And hopefully this is one of those spots where it's actually a skill-based outcome, because the Lions definitely have the edge in the skill category. And I think the Eagles are due for their luck to run out. They just haven't been the same team this year. They don't run the ball well. They don't really throw it that well. You know, it's always something with this team. A.J. Brown's upset. Jalen Hurts is looking mediocre at times. I do have respect for Hurts because he's good at scrambling. He's got a good feel, and he's a little bit of a playmaker. You know, I do have respect for him in that department. But just as a whole, it hasn't been a very effective unit. And like I said, last year, winning the Super Bowl, they lost a lot of key guys on defense, and I don't think they've been the same on defense as well. So overall, I think they're a little bit of a phony team, a fake 7-2 team that really should be a 500 team, maybe even worse. I'm just not impressed with Philly, so I wanted to hammer the Lions for 2 units here, but we're going to go 1 unit. Oh, and one more thing. Lions just came off a very, very easy win against the Commanders, beat them 1-0 basically. It was basically a bye week. You know, it was a nothing burger. They got a chill week. The Eagles came off a brutal game on a short week, so they're coming off Monday Night Football. Physical game against the Packers, very rough, very ugly, hard game. I just think the Lions are going to be in a better spot as opposed to Philly in this one. I don't think it's a good spot for Philly. You combine that with the fact that I think they're a little bit phony. I'll take 1 unit on the Lions in this one. And remember, this is a 2-team parlay with the Chargers, so it's not Lions by itself. It's Lions money line with Chargers money line, which is going to be at +273. At least that's what I got. So that's our second play. Our final play, this is only going to be half a unit. It's going to be Bears money line. I got it at +140. So I don't really get this one. And this is going to be a pros versus Joes one, and we're going to be on the Joes side. We're going to be on the square side. I'm so tired of these sharps that love backing these shitty teams every week. It blows my mind. Like, they love the Browns every week. They love all these loser teams every week. And this week, the loser team of the week that they like is the Minnesota Vikings. I get it. They feel smart. Oh, we're betting on a team that's not as perceived as good at -2.5 against a team that's hot and wins every week. I get it. But with that being said, I don't get it, because what is special about the Vikings? They are not impressive at all. J.J. McCarthy has been horrible. Look, that's why we're only doing half a unit on this, because he doesn't have a massive sample size. Maybe he turns it around and ends up being good. So we'll respect that possibility, and we'll keep this at half a unit. But based on the data we've seen, look, I'm not saying Caleb Williams is amazing, but from what we've seen with J.J. McCarthy versus Caleb Williams this year, we'll take Caleb all day. The Bears as a whole, I'll take all day. The Vikings have not been good this year, and I just don't understand how they get so much respect in the betting markets. I get it. Brian Flores, Kevin O'Connell, they're well-respected coaches, but Ben Johnson's a beast. He's doing a great job. And I just think there's a little bit of magic with this team right now. And the fact that what I feel like we're getting a better team and we're getting it at plus 140, I'll take that all day. Whether they win or lose, I believe there's value in it. Look, personally, I think this is around a coin flip game. If I have to pick, I'll give the Bears a slight edge, but let's just call it a coin flip game. If we're getting 50-50 odds and we're getting a plus 140, we have to take that. With the JJ limited sample size, we're going to be smart, only take it at half a unit. And that's it, guys. So those are our picks for the week. I'll put it in the description in case, it didn't make sense. But just to recap, we got Chargers money line minus 160, 1 unit. We got 2-team parlay, Chargers money line, Lions money line, plus 273. And then we have, that's for 1 unit. And then we have Bears money line, plus 140, half a unit. So I'll put that in the description, guys. If this is your first time seeing one of my videos, like the video, subscribe before you lose me in the algorithm forever. I appreciate it, guys. We've been putting out free winners for a long time now, so if you're new to the channel, just keep watching every week, man. That's what I do. Go to my Twitter, though. That's where I'm more active, at Karis Football, and I post picks earlier there, so you don't have to wait for the videos. So that's it, boys. I will check back in next week. Good luck. Hopefully the football gods are on our side. All right, boys. Have a good one. Peace.